Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses for being here today. Let me start with something that shouldn't need to be said, but it must be said clearly. Anti-Semitism is real, it's rising, and it has no place on our campuses. We have a responsibility to make sure that every student, Jewish, Muslim, Black, brown, or otherwise, feels safe and respected where they live and where they learn. And that means calling out hate when we see it. It also means upholding the civil rights protections that have long protected our students from discrimination. Now, I spent over 40 years as a professor, and what I know is this. Classrooms are where we ask questions, where we challenge each other, and yes, sometimes where we disagree. But I'm concerned about what I see happening here. Because instead of solving a problem, we're watching some try to use anti-Semitism as a reason to go after higher education. I've heard it in this committee that DEI is to blame, that foreign scholars are a threat, that faculty ought to be punished for their views. But I'll tell you, we don't need political scorecards. We need real solutions, and that means following the law. It means fully funding the Office of Civil Rights, not hollowing it out. And let's not forget, as we sit here today, holding this hearing, the Department of Education is withholding more than $6 billion in congressionally mandated funding from our K-12 schools. That's money for students, for teachers, after-school programs, and for communities already stretched thin. So my question, Chancellor Lyons, thank you for being here. Your institution has a long history with student protests, some of it deeply troubling, and some of it a reflection of the moment that we're in. But I want to ask you something else. How does your institution protect academic freedom while also keeping students safe? And what does it say about your values when those freedoms are tested?
Thank you for the question. You're describing what is a very complex set of questions. The freedom to discover, the freedom to learn, the freedom to teach, these are fundamental freedoms. And so when we talk about academic freedom, let's just be clear that those are the fundamental freedoms that we protect. And at the same time, we have this obligation toward free speech. Does it frustrate us as presidents? I'll speak for myself. This is frustrating. People say, well, just drive down the middle of the road. This is a very complex road to drive down. And so we are constantly making judgments around how do we keep people safe and supported, and also how do we make sure that we are protecting free speech and the marketplace for ideas.
Thank you, sir. Let me move on. Chancellor Matos, Chancellor Matos Rodriguez, thank you as well. CUNY is a large and complex system, 26 campuses across 5 boroughs. That's no easy task. So let me ask you first, have some of the protests we've seen involved people from outside the CUNY community?
Absolutely appreciate the nuance. Our campuses are the city of New York. So in many cases, some of the events that occur are really occurring in the streets of New York City that are contingent to our campuses. So that presents
So you can give me a yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Second, how is CUNY working across New York's diverse neighborhoods to confront anti-Semitism in a way that includes everyone?
Thank you. Since I mentioned, I've been committed to this since I became chancellor in 2019. I had learned as president of Queens College that you needed to bring people together. We had at Queens College the largest Muslim and Jewish populations of our campuses at CUNY, and I learned the value of bringing people together. So I have a Jewish advisory committee on Jewish life that I brought together in 2023 to listen to the members of the community to get their feedback and get answers.
Thank you so much. Let me ask you one final thing. We've heard concerns from faculty who were recently not reappointed despite having full enrolled classes scheduled for the fall, and I understand that those matters may be going through a formal process. I know you may not be able to speak to individual cases, but as a former professor myself and a department chair, somebody who believes deeply in transparency and fairness, I want to ask you, would you be willing to follow up with my office and provide more information on the policies and procedures that guide faculty appointments and reappointments at CUNY?
I appreciate the question. We're here to answer all the questions and cooperate fully with the committee.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think my time is up. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I thank the gentlelady. Now I recognize the gentlelady.